An almighty war of words has broken out between Elon Musk and the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, after Musk claimed on Monday that the violent riots sweeping the UK meant that, quote, civil war is inevitable. So the Prime Minister slammed the comments, claiming there was no justification for it. But the billionaire owner of X, formerly Twitter, hasn't backed down, has he? After hundreds of Muslim men violently attacked a pub and an individual man in Birmingham last night, Musk today took to the social media platform to ask the Prime Minister, why aren't all communities protected in Britain? He went on to brand Starmer two-tip.
Keir Starmer might have believed that silence signalled strength, but in reality, it only works when no one is tearing you apart on live TV, particularly when it's Elon Musk casually dismantling you like it's just a warm-up for a tech bro routine, approaching public scrutiny with the same casual, unfazed attitude he applies to Tesla deadlines, lightly, effortlessly, and without a hint of urgency.
He wants Elon Musk gone, X turned off, and freedom of speech stamped out. Starmer himself has said he's going to look at social media laws in the wake of the riots and even revisit the Online Safety Act. And right on cue, of course, the Westminster elite are now circling. Guardian columnists got their knickers in a twist, saying Musk should be on trial in the UK for inciting the riots. And Keir Starmer's champagne socialist biographer, Tom Baldwin, called for regulation of social media platforms, even saying free speech was not absolute. Make no mistake, the minority racist idiots who caused the worst of these riots have opened the floodgates for a power grab of our civil liberties under this Labour government. And it's a crying shame that it's a US-based South African who's the only one with the balls to stick up for British citizens.
Now, let's focus on Elon Musk, the man who once challenged Vladimir Putin to a cage fight on Twitter and darts between subjects as if powered solely by espresso, motivated by boredom or sheer trolling. He launched a live TV tirade that effortlessly shredded Keir Starmer. Was Starmer even fully present? Of course not. Did that stop Musk from turning him into intellectual roadkill? Absolutely not.
Well, Danica, the boss of X or Twitter, Elon Musk, is in a brawl with Britain's Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer. I must say, is acting like a weak man trying to be strong during this crisis. Starmer tweeted, "We will not tolerate attacks on mosques or on Muslim communities," to which Musk quite reasonably replied, "Shouldn't you be concerned about attacks on all communities?" Isn't Musk right? Hasn't he put a finger on something that's angering the anti-immigration rioters who talk about two-tier police?
While Starmer was probably off somewhere meticulously arranging Labour leaflets or rehearsing working people without sounding like a glitchy robot, Musk went completely off script, tearing into politics, blitzing through Starmer's economic plans like a Tesla on autopilot, barreling toward a brick wall, and then circling back to declare that Starmer's leadership feels like a botched software update.
You belong to a party that sent activists to America to actively plot to, and I quote, kill Elon Musk's Twitter. Labour activists in a centre for countering digital hate that was set up by a certain Morgan McSweeney, happens to be Keir Starmer's chief of staff. I wonder why Elon Musk has suddenly got a really strong interest in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Because let's be honest, Barry, all of those statements that Labour MPs made about Donald Trump, all of those bizarre statements they made about Elon Musk, guess what? These guys don't really like that. They don't like being abused. They don't like being insulted. So they're going to call you out when you fail, like when you fail with these white working class girls.
Here's the real problem. Keir Starmer leads like he's perpetually worried about a bad Yelp review, with policies that don't feel bold but read like a dusty PowerPoint from 1996. While Musk treats subtlety the way he treats unions, like it simply doesn't exist, so watching him rip into Starmer was like witnessing a tidal wave obliterate something that barely managed even a ripple of resistance.
Prime Minister to a post by Elon Musk this morning suggesting that America should liberate Britain from a tyrannical government.
Let me deal with the health crunch because it's really important. Look, in relation to that, I don't really have any comment on the particular comment that was made this morning by...
Let's dissect their leadership styles. Starmer carries the charisma of a neatly organised office cabinet. Functional, yes, but far from electrifying. able to ramble for 20 minutes and convey less than a celebrity fumbling through a vague awards speech, while Musk zips through ideas on live TV at lightning speed, barely aware of which show he's on, yet lands more blows than the entire Conservative bench at PMQs. When Musk shredded Starmer's economic plans, he essentially voiced what everyone was thinking: unclear, flimsy, and about as inspiring as cold toast, while Starmer's entire approach seems designed to make the fewest promises, smile stiffly and hope no one asks questions, as if "don't rock the boat" were his entire persona. And Musk watched all this and laughed like he was witnessing someone tackle a problem they weren't even equipped for.
I kid you not. How can this be real? They are releasing convicted people from prison in order to put people in prison for Facebook posts.
To be fair, those are
thing.
posts that criticize the government, so they have good reason.
They would actually, some of these posts that these ones I've seen, didn't actually criticize the government. Well, they were seen as sort of as hate speech.
Because they noticed the society getting crappier and crappier with every year.
There were migrant gangs in England that were gangs that would run around and prey on young girls. Some people found that objectionable. They were upset about that. And so they complained about it online and were sent to prison.
Let's be honest, Starmer's boldest economic move so far is timidly hinting that maybe, sometime, somehow, we could think about reviewing a budget eventually. And his energy policy is equally timid, promising a greener Britain but handling it like someone afraid of an electric kettle, dropping vague clean energy commitments and, the moment anyone asks for details, muttering about long-term planning before disappearing like he's late for a painfully dull tofu dinner. While Elon Musk is out there building solar tech, overhauling energy systems, and launching satellites because his toast got cold one morning, now imagine them on live TV. Starmer drones on about hydrogen buses like it's 2004, and he's presenting to a jury of hyper-serious librarians, while Musk casually debates whether nuking Mars might advance science, all while shredding Starmer's climate policy like a flimsy school essay.
I think the number of people that have been arrested for just social media posts is bananas. It's in the thousands.
Yes, several thousand people have been given prison sentences in the UK for social media posts where there was no explicit link to actual violence, but they just said it encouraged violence. We're like, well, did anyone actually do anything as a result of that media post? Well, no. But they just, and then they have a prison overcrowding situation in the UK, so they're quite literally releasing convicted people and putting people in jail for.
And then there's Starmer's infamous talent for dodging real commitments. If fence sitting were an Olympic sport, he wouldn't just win gold, he'd shatter the world record and form a committee to debate whether it should really be bronze for fairness. With hesitation basically his full-time job. Brexit, he supported it, opposed it, backed a second referendum, then accepted it again, but never in a way that invited tough follow-ups. Strikes, he's for workers, just not when they're actually striking. Public ownership, he likes the idea, but only in a soft, nostalgic, non-committal way. Musk, by contrast, treats commitment like a roller coaster designed by someone running on zero sleep, reckless, messy, sometimes alarming but impossible to ignore, plunging into chaotic decisions with the energy of an overexcited toddler. You might hate the ride, but at least it goes somewhere. Starmer? He's still outside the theme park, clutching a risk assessment and polling focus groups to see if roller coasters are politically safe.
Keir Starmer's Labour has not only become a headache to the British people. Now, Elon Musk has targeted Labour since they recently announced the painful October budget. Elon Musk didn't like Labour's implementation of the inheritance tax on the UK family farms, and criticised Keir Starmer's Labour for making those changes. On X, formerly known as Twitter, Elon Musk wrote, "We should leave the farmers alone. We owe farmers immense gratitude for making the food on our..."
Let's not forget how Starmer with his impeccably beige centrism, manages to annoy both left and right simultaneously, telling workers he's on their side, then vanishing the moment a union expects him to show up, like ghosting a friend who texts too many heart emojis. That's not leadership, it's a perfectly staged disappearing act, and Musk didn't need a 40-page briefing to expose it. He did it with the subtlety of a wrecking ball. Starmer comes across as confused, overmanaged pandering wrapped in a Marks & Spencer suit, delivering world-class indecision on the Westminster stage, never walking the political tightrope, but turning it into a bureaucratic obstacle course, and then forgetting which way leads out.
On Elon Musk, I do need to ask you this. He called your safeguarding minister, Jess Phillips, an evil witch, a rape genocide apologist who should be put in jail. Does that sort of abuse of a minister make you feel angry? And what is your response to that? Thank you.
On the question of Elon Musk, look, I think most people are more interested in what's going to happen to the NHS, frankly, than what's happening on Twitter. But you asked me a really important question that's been in the news for the last few days. I am going to, with permission, just answer it quite.
Then there's the question of vision, or, in Starmer's case, the glaring lack of it. His idea of vision feels like staring through a fogged-up car window in November, bleak, blurry, and mildly depressing, talking about progress while rolling out policies so uninspired they make beige look vibrant. Musk, meanwhile, is out there discussing settling Mars and linking human brains to computers. Unhinged, yes, but at least not soul-crushingly dull. And he didn't stop at policy, going after Starmer's entire communication style. Starmer, giving speeches like he's apologising for existing, became the perfect target for Musk's dry, dismissive humour, which implied, without saying, that Starmer has the stage presence of a malfunctioning GPS. And honestly, he's not wrong. Starmer inspires no one, with speeches that are the political equivalent of boiled cauliflower, technically edible, utterly joyless, while Musk just held that up and asked, "Is this really the man you want steering the UK through an economic meltdown?"
You just held your second Cobra in 2 days. Is that a sign of how worried you are about the situation?
The Cobra meeting was to coordinate our response to the disorder, and I made it very clear on a number of occasions that those involved will feel the full force of the law. So we coordinated, we went through some of the numbers. Over 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are...
Then, Musk pivoted to AI and somehow circled back to roast Starmer, casually noting that if anyone tried to program an AI to mimic human indecision, it would basically become Keir Starmer, a polite algorithm of uncertainty, neatly dressed in a sensible tie. And let's not forget how Starmer freezes under pressure. In a crisis, he reacts like a jammed printer, blinking lights, strange noises, zero out. Musk, who thrives in chaos like a raccoon rifling through a bin, couldn't resist highlighting the mismatch, making the comparison feel like placing a soggy Weetabix next to a flamethrower. Starmer's response, after being roasted like a marshmallow at a tech festival? Exactly what you'd expect. Nothing. Classic star routine. Deny, delay. Then release a half-hearted statement packed with words like complexities, framework, and broad consensus. He's turned doing nothing into a full-blown political strategy.